Rebecca, if we can please. Yeah, we're going to stand and do the pledge and prayer. And Mr. Morris, will you lead us in prayer, sir? I think John made a deal with you.
I did.
I think John made a deal with you.
Yeah, some deal.
So,
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so very much for this day. Thank you for us allowing us to have the opportunity to meet here with the mayor and city council and our attorney. And I thank you that we can do that with love and with your blessings. I thank you for this small town. It's a nice, clean, safe place to live. And I thank the council for that. I thank each citizen that's here today, Lord, and I pray that the meeting would go well. I thank you for this month of every year when we celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And it's in His name I make this prayer. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Rebecca, if we get a roll call, please.
Dan Martin.
Here.
Caleb Flegge. Amy Long.
Here.
Sherry Gaskell. Here. Rose Beach. Matt Brown.
And we have announcements. So City Hall and the Walton Senior Center will be closed for the holidays from 12/24 through 12/26. At the Gaines Tavern History Center, Christmas open house on 12/14 from 1 to 5. If you bring a canned good, it's free.
It's paper products,
Oh, I'm sorry.
like paper towels and dish liquid, stuff that normally don't go to the food pantry.
Understood. And if you bring that, there's no cost for admission.
cost at all.
If you're not bringing that, then the cost.
$5.
Thank you very much. Last year I brought canned goods. I was probably the only one.
Hey, it still went to the bid.
Very good. Okay, so again, that's the 14th from 1 to 5. There's no events planning for January. We'll come back strong in February. Our caucus meeting for January will be in council chambers on January the 6th, and our council meeting will be here in the Senior Center on January the 13th. And if I can get an approval of the agenda, please.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Dan Martin.
Yes.
Amy Long.
Yes.
Sherry Gaskell.
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Yes.
And then we have approval of minutes, and that would be the November 12th, November council meeting, the November 20th, our special meeting, town hall, as well as December 2nd for our December caucus meeting.
Motion to combine those two.
Second that?
Dan Martin.
Yes.
Amy Long.
Yes.
Sherry Gaskell.
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Yes.
And we'll go ahead and open the floor for citizens' comments. If anyone has anything. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to speak about the Rico street drainage issues that we have going on and see what update is.
Absolutely. And so Mr. Bogan, he joined us Tuesday night for our caucus meeting, and of course, we look forward to this evening just to see where we were at with the RACO. Do you have anything for us?
I mean, we pretty much got the design settled. John was reaching out to property owners about easements. Is there?
Yeah, so the original two I spoke to, and forgive me, it's Heath? Okay. Heath joined us, and he said, hey, I heard that maybe I want to be in on it too. So we have the back three. We just have to talk about if that is enough to do the problem, solve the problem, instead of coming from the street access, because we know we can get those back three now.
Yeah, I mean, that will, capturing that drainage off of Mary Brooks Extension, running that downhill will help with a lot of that. You'll still get the drainage from the RICO that comes down through the backyards. But we do plan on adding a drain in the low point there to help capture some of the excess.
So do you not have any plans to address the drainage that comes off of Main Street and drains down into the Rico? Or are you leaving that?
Only if those property owners are willing to grant these.
Which property owners are you talking about?
The ones along Main Street.
Okay, so there's two different property owners there. One property owner has the corner lot.
Yeah.
You're talking, that's a rental home. Have you talked to that one?
I haven't this time. Previously, we had talked to them, and they were not willing to work with us.
Okay, and what about the secondary homeowner, which would be my neighbor, I believe it's 7 Louisville. Have you talked to him? Because that is
Same situation.
same situation.
Yeah, it's the same
You
thing.
talk to the actual homeowner.
No, we talked to the property.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you talk to the grandson, or did you talk to the grandfather? Because I think the person who you believe is the property owner is not the property owner.
I believe it was the daughter.
Okay.
It's her son that was living there, but she said that he was in the military and he was off on deployment, for which
He is the property owner.
Okay. So basically, she answered for him and said that she didn't have an issue with the project, but she felt like it would cause some friction with the rest of the family if she granted approval for it, so
So
she said no.
I will tell you, based on the conversations I've had with her specifically, there are some issues that have happened in the past with him. And she expressed concern with projects not being done or completed to the extent of what the city stated they should complete. When we had this conversation, I told her my feelings and thoughts about it as well, because I still have some hard feelings, based on the last project that you had and how that went through, and it was never completed. We paid contractors a lot of money for work that they did not do. It was a waste of taxpayer money. In this case, with this new project, we all, every neighbor in that area, have agreed that there needs to be scope of work. And I feel as if you were to give them a scope of work and say, okay, we're gonna come in, and this is what we're gonna do, this is how we're gonna tackle this problem, this is what we're gonna do, we're gonna do the grading, we're gonna run new drain lines in here, it's gonna be better than it was, you're gonna have new grass laid out, X, Y, Z. And you actually lay out that project, and you hold contractors in the city of Delaware for the work that needs to be completed, they're more than likely to get saved.
Okay, yeah, and unlike last time, we actually have an engineered plan set for this. Last time, we were kind of just out there eyeballing and saying, hey, we've got some dirt here, grades, whatever. We've actually got plans we can show them and say, hey, here's exactly how much pipe we're putting in, here's where we want the drains to go, here's how we want this restored. So it's much more detailed than last time.
My biggest concern with only doing Mary Grubbs is that the amount of water that comes off of Main Street is significant. I mean, when we have rainfalls, that is your main drain that comes off of Main Street for that main section of the Main Street area. There's 2 foot plus water that comes out of there that creates big creek. If you're not diverting that, you're still catching water at the bottom. But eventually, whether or not you create a drain at the bottom of the hillside, you're still going to have a public issue. Because the water doesn't necessarily go directly to that channel that you may be talking about. It hits the bottom of the yard, and it spreads out. I mean, it's a very, very big area. So unless you actually run a drain from point A to point B and connect the 2 lines, I don't think you're going to address the issue.
Okay.
I mean, like, I would like to see what your engineering design says, maybe.
Yeah, and
Maybe see what it looks like.
John, did you have a copy of that?
I don't have it right, I
Okay,
don't.
I'll make sure that everybody gets a copy of that so they can see exactly what's going on.
Have you guys had any third-party, engineering companies come out and give you an assessment on this at all? Or is it just part of it?
It's just been necessary.
I mean, has there been any thought of having a third party come in?
So I won't speak for everyone. I know me coming in new to this, I'm going to look at the plans, and if they are what we believe to be the right plans, we'll go through it. If we believe that's not the right work and we need to consult someone different, we'll talk about that as I believe as council and mayor will probably address that appropriately.
I mean, I would look into it because it is a significant amount of water. And you're talking for us to have taxpayer money that's going to go towards addressing this issue, and then it potentially doesn't resolve the issue, you're still going to have people that are going to be upset. And then, to the point of the neighbor not wanting you to have access to the property, it's going to be the same thing. So if you have issues with that, then you're going to create an issue with all the neighbors that are there now. And then next time you have something that happens, all the same. And that's what we don't want to have. We want to have trust within the community.
Sure.
So we can have these projects go smooth and not have to worry about issues.
I think, so for the town hall meeting in February, it might be, if that's not pushing it back too far, I figure with the winter, we're not going to be able to accomplish what we're trying to. But we could send letters to the neighbors in your area and make that a primary focus for part of our town hall meeting, and so that we can all come together and, excuse me, just be on the same page, that everyone gets the same information, and then their input is valuable and valid, right? So I think that's something that we can make happen. Do you have a February date?
It's February 19th.
Thank you. So I apologize. It'll be February the 19th will be our next town hall meeting. And again, we can commit to sending letters to the folks that are impacted, and so that we can have a group conversation. And Mr. Bogan, if you could make it that night, and absolutely, yes.
I mean, in terms of the ones that are going to be impacted, currently the only ones that are going to be impacted are going to be me and my 2 neighbors that are on the backside. So we're talking about a larger group, which would include all of Main Street. So hopefully we're including them in this conversation as well, regardless of passage here.
That was the intent.
Okay, so do we feel good about moving forward?
Yeah.
Awesome.
As we talked about on Tuesday, when we first came on board, I asked all the staff, and we went through and said, okay, I said, here's drainage problems across the city. And we sat in a caucus meeting and we ascertained that's property owner, that's us, that's property, and we all committed to a solve.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
Now it's just understanding how we get there.
it's become a massive burden, I'll be honest. Like, my wife and I, we like to do a lot to our property. We can't do anything in that back area. We like to fence it in so we have, a nice area for our animals to go and run around in our backyard. We can't do anything. It's a complete swamp down there. I walk down there on foot, icing. So, and having those contractors that came in beforehand, he buried a complete excavator in the ground. There's some little kids that run around there. I don't know what he did to resolve that issue, but I was out there, and I had 2 kids, 2 little girls running back into that backyard, into that swamp area close by where that excavator was buried. I don't know if there's an 8-foot deep hole where those kids could get trapped in. It's a hazard in my eyes. So I yell at kids, not on a daily basis, but if I see them back there, I'm like, hey, please don't step in there. It's dangerous. You don't know what's back there. You might fall in a hole, sink, drown. No chance. I think a resolution being on the sooner side of things would be.
I agree, and we are committed to that resolution. Council, do you have anything to add? Do you have anything else, sir?
No.
Okay. You'll be hearing from us. We are definitely going to figure it out. And I apologize it's taken this long. When I saw the pictures of the excavator buried in the yard,
That was a year. It's been 2 years.
yes, sir. And I can understand your concern with not wanting the children back there.
And it's been 2 years since that happened.
Right. But it was ongoing prior to. Very good. We are committed. Thank you. Are there any other citizen comments? Okay, so moving right along, and we have Sheriff's Department, Major Jason Knoll. Good evening, sir.
Hello, everyone. Pretty slow month for November, which is a good thing, but I'll run through some numbers and take any questions if you guys have any. I did notice that I fat-fingered the auto accident on there. 41, we didn't have 41 accidents. I don't know what I did there, but breeze through some of these. 911 hang-ups 2, alarm drops 2, attempt to locate 1, animal complaints 2, burglary reports we had 0, business checks 8, civil and criminal summons services we had 47, domestics 1, emotional crisis 1, juvenile trouble 1, motorist assist 3, 0 overdoses this month, that's good. Request for information 6. We checked 140 businesses and homes this last month. 21 suspicious activity calls, 5 theft reports, 11 traffic complaints were conducted in traffic complaint areas. 32 traffic stops were a result of that. 17 vehicle complaints were investigated. 7 wanted person calls. 15 citations total were issued in the month of November in Walton, and we had a total of 4 arrests. I looked through all the documentation, didn't find any notable activity for the month of November that really stood out. I heard the deputies over here this past weekend that the Christmas on Main event went really well. No issues, so they said they had a good time as well. Other than that, it was a quiet month, and that's a good thing from a law enforcement standpoint. So if anybody has anything for me, I'd be happy to answer.
I did call dispatch last week. Unfortunately, we had our caucus meeting last Tuesday, and someone hijacked our Zoom and displayed hardcore porn inside. Yes, and so I was thankful that some of our citizens who come regularly weren't there. Unfortunately, some were, and we all had to experience that. So she's followed up with Zoom to try to get a report on who that potentially could be. One of the gentlemen that I spoke to is very kind. He said because of the age of the folks that were in the room, it would have been, or can be, if we can get more information, second degree indecent exposure.
Okay.
I don't know if Boone County can help us along with Zoom.
That's above my purview. I'm
Yes,
not
sir.
an IT person, but Rebecca, do you have the information?
I have it in the
Okay,
office.
if you just want to maybe call me tomorrow or something, I can get it to our IT folks and see. Oh, that's very strange.
It was unfortunate. You know, sometimes children are present. At times, John's brought Charlie, right? And then there's been other children for various reasons. And that would have been terrible if a child was in the room with us that evening. Thank God they weren't. But it wasn't pleasant for anyone.
So, excuse my ignorance, how did that happen? Everybody was on a Zoom and all of a sudden,
Yeah. So we provide the Zoom link, and we can't keep anyone out, right? Because it's a public meeting. And so someone joined, at which point, I guess we didn't maybe have the proper controls where we could keep someone from sharing their screen. But the whole screen, which is like 55 inches in there, was overtaken by
so
porn.
somebody that joined the meeting
Yes, sir.
streamed pornography.
Yes, sir. And it was beyond porn. There was also racial slurs and Nazi swastikas.
And do we know who that domain came back to? Or
We-
did it have-
We're hoping Zoom can tell us.
Okay. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, we want. Yeah, absolutely. And we would try to avoid that in the future, obviously. But if we can find out more details to try to to hold someone accountable for that, because
Yeah, and I'd be curious to see if Zoom has a way for like cities and counties to kind of block the restriction or utilize a password for.
Well, we had the password. We had to have a
Yeah,
password.
but we have to provide it because again, it's a public meeting.
but they sign on with fake names, so on and so forth.
We can
and
do
so-
some things, I think, in the functionality
Yeah.
to eliminate some stuff, but,
Yeah, my familiarization with Zoom is very limited, so if you would just get in touch with me and I can get you in touch with one of our criminal investigator
That would be great.
folks, that's not my cup of tea, but
Anything else from Rachel Knoll?
With Austin Valley being partially in Kent County, partially in Austin,
Yeah.
do you guys handle the whole thing, or does Kent County handle their side?
King County handles it.
Okay. I just-
So we have jurisdiction in King County, so if there's some critical incident or any type of emergency, we're going to go regardless. But when it comes to just your regular standard calls for service, vehicle complaint, all that type of stuff, King County.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we run into that issue with the Corvettes property back here, because it's split in the middle as well.
Thank you.
Anything else from the citizens that are here? in that room? No?
Thank you for your support for Christmas on Main. Thank you so much for all that you do.
She sent me the items for next year, so we'll make sure that we get those on the calendar, so we
Awesome.
have the presents at those events. And if there's nothing else, I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Merry Christmas to you. And next up, we have Chief Vest with our fire department. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Chief.
I have the response activity for fire departments for the month of November and additionally for the entire year of 2025. So for November, we responded to 40 separate fire incidents and an additional 150 EMS-related incidents. Those include 14 motor vehicle crashes, 4 overdoses, 9 structure fire responses, We had no stabbings or shootings during the month of November, and we responded to 5 cardiac respiratory arrests of BLS. Since January 1, 2025 through November 30th, we responded to a grand total of 413 fire-related incidents, 1,623 EMS incidents. Of those, 61 of those have been structure fire calls, 4 stabbings or shootings, 23 separate overdoses, 178 motor vehicle crashes, and 26 cardiac respiratory arrests for BLS. Anybody have any questions? Anything?
Thank you, Chief. I want to thank you and the men for their participation and women at Christmas on Main. I think the chili was a big hit. And
Seems there was a really good turnout. Everybody seemed to really be enjoying it. I know my folks that was up there enjoyed it as well. Look forward to doing it again.
thank you. Thank you all for being in the parade. That was a great presence, and you all leading us. That was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything for Chief?
Do you have any, with people doing those plug-in heaters and stuff, y'all have any information on things that like you normally send out on social media to remind people about watching those and watching things around them?
Yeah, I mean, there's residential safety stuff. We try to keep that on the website, put that out there. We try to get that information out, public education events, whenever we can. But if any group or anybody wanted to request I'll say public education, safety thing, like around holidays, specifically, something like that, if we want to have to.
How would you go about doing that, like for the citizens to be included?
Just contact the firehouse. Battalion Chief Stephen Sully is point of contact. And if he can set up and organize for it, he would request it.
I know it's cold, it's very cold. And, okay, so we're supposed to be getting like super duper cold weather coming up. Are there places that you know of that if the lights go out that will have like generators and stuff to be able to keep people warm?
As far as people out in the cold, like cold weather shelter, there's one set up in the county. And they email me dates where that's going to be open, based on the weather predictions. The fire station here in Walton is a safe place. So if someone gets into potentially a life-threatening situation, so, they're people out, go down there, they can always contact us at the fire station and try to accommodate them as best we can.
Thank you.
To Amy's point in the questions that she's asking, Chief, if you have anything that you would like to add to our January newsletter to go out to the citizens, any helpful tips or bits of information, we'd love to include that.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
And I believe Mr. Wainwright's been in contact with Chief Casselli. So we've been doing that.
Okay, very good. Anything else for Chief?
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. We appreciate you and your staff. Thank you for all that you all do. You're just a great community partner. You're always present and always willing, so thank you.
Appreciate you all. And I hope everybody has a happy and safe Christmas and New Year's. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And then we have Cardinal Engineering, Mr. Matt Bogan.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
So some updates on our road projects. We've had the plans at the state for the new crosswalks on Main Street and the widening on Town Center Drive for the truck access. We've gone through a couple rounds of comments on the crosswalks. Hoping to hear something from approval on that soon. On Town Center Drive, obviously we were trying to coordinate that with the resurfacing project they were doing on Mary Grubbs. They came and gone before I heard anything back, so they should still permit us to do it, but we have to get our own contractor line work to do it. So it's unfortunate it didn't work. The timing didn't work out, but we kind of tried to slip it in on short notice. So I've got the quantities together for the citywide restriping contract to refresh all of the stop bars, crosswalks, lane lines, wherever. We had been talking to Central Seal, who did the striping for Eaton on our annual contract. They were going to give us a price, but I'm pretty sure it's going to come out higher than $40,000. So really, it's up to us if we want to, it's up to council. If you guys would rather bid that out as one big project for the entire city, or do a phased approach, break it up into whatever areas that make sense and spread that out over a few years. So we can talk about that in caucus, or we can send it to Central Seal and get a price back and see what the damage is and make a decision based on that. And then just something else for consideration. I brought up with John already, but I've been noticing around town on a few of our newer developments that the ongoing construction traffic is really tearing up the new pavement. If you guys go back in the newer phases of Wildcat Run, you can see sections of concrete that are less than a couple of years old that are already cracking and seeing some damage. So in some of those cases, the street's already been, that new section has been platted and turned over to the city for ownership, but it still has traffic actively on it. Other times it has not been dedicated yet, but I think it would be a good idea to talk to the prospective planning and zoning entities in both counties and have a joint review or a joint inspection process before they turn that over to make sure any of those items are passed along to the developer or the contractor to fix it, so the city's not getting brand new streets that already have damage that could cause them to fail prematurely. We haven't done any of we haven't sent any of these dirt works yet under our panel replacement contract, but I think that's not really the intention of it, is to clean up new development and have them fix that. It's only been around a couple of years. So yeah, I just think we need to talk to both counties and kind of have a closeout process for our new projects while things are slower right now, the moratorium. Once that's out of the way, things are going to pick up.
And I just want to say thank you for that suggestion. It's something that the more of these items that you can point out to us, the better, right, as a subject matter expert. But I do believe that for far too long, the city has been responsible for things that potentially maybe wasn't our responsibility. So it's these types of things that I know John's aware of, looking into, and to your point before the moratorium lift, that we really get a good handle on what's our responsibility and what's not. So I appreciate your suggestion and hope that you'll work with John just to put this in the process.
We talked about it a little bit. Just, meet with Boone County and the PDS and see what their closeout project process is. I know with PDS, which granted it's only really the last few phases of Boston Valley, but when those wrap up, they do contact me to go out there and walk the length of the new street, check the curb inlets, make sure everything looks okay, and then send the punch list back to the developer to have those resolved. But we don't have anything like that in place with Boone County currently. So whether it's something similar to that or a new process that's standardized between the counties, but
Matt, do both planning commissions have inspectors that inspect before the pavement is actually laid?
That's my understanding, yeah. I think it's been kind of public works, but they have somebody that comes out and inspects all of the new pavement and the sewer installations, and then I do the sanitary sewer testing before we accept those that are back for testing.
Because typically, if there's a pavement problem, it's because of the subsurface.
Yeah, it's that, and I know in the, over at the crossings, one of the parking pads, they set a dumpster there, and, while they were working on that, they were putting up those buildings, and when the buildings were complete and they took it out, there were 2 or 3 panels that had basically cracked across the floor of the dumpster, so it's a few different things.
Matt,
Yeah.
quick question back on the striping. If we went with a phased out project, do you have to pay them, do you pay more because they have to come back out and bring the stuff back out than you would if they all came out at one time?
Yeah, we would be paying slightly more for a separate mobilization each time we call them out. So, yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to see if that would be something we would think about. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
In terms of the dumpster, are you talking a contractor dumpster?
Yeah.
Okay. To my knowledge, based on previous experience working with the building department, they regulate that. So I would reach out to the building department. They should be putting those on the properties. They shouldn't be on the sidewalks, curbs, anything. So it should be illegal.
That's all we have for street projects. On the annexation for the Comfort property, for the new sanitary line, we've been out there doing the boundary survey. We started on Friday. I'm not sure if they've been back out yet, or I think they're going out yesterday. Finish that up. So as soon as that's done, we'll get the legal descriptions worked up so we can go with the annexation. And then on the MS4 inspections, I mentioned last month that our staff's been out starting the working on inspections. It's still ongoing, but we are getting Ryan cross-trained so that he's familiar with the process we've been doing. And then next year, we'll start shifting that over, having a more active field role, handling those inspections rather than him leaving the primary person on that. So, yeah, we'll get up to speed. I think the biggest unknown right now is to have some kind of we've got paper forms that we've been using for our inspections, but having something, an e-form where whether it's me or one of our other techs that are out there, or public works staff, that we can get those standardized in something where we can share back and forth relative to the one on our copy. So, any questions?
Yeah, the walkie bridge,
Pedestrian.
pedestrian bridge.
Yeah.
You know I don't speak good.
Yeah, we've got our documents together. I reached out to the state to see if they want me to go through everything, or if they just want me to email them the whole shebang and get the all clear to bid it out.
So when? I didn't hear a when. What was that date?
Yeah.
It's been like 11 years or something.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get the notice to bid over the winter, get everything out to bid for spring construction.
Yeah, because somebody wants to be on council just so they can get that bridge going. We probably need to get that bridge going.
Yeah, we're already there.
Awesome.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bogan. Merry Christmas to you and your family. And then next we have our city administrator, John Wainwright.
Well, I think Mayor, Council emailed you my report for your late night reading. I'll go through a couple items. So in parks, the fishing pier installation will be pretty much maybe next week or the beginning of January based on Christmas and based on weather. So I'll be excited. And I'll let you know that exact date in case anyone wants to come out and add any input. The structural engineer will be out next week, next Wednesday, to evaluate the viability of the old house foundation to be the base for our pavilion. And then I will continue, as we talked about this caucus, but based upon your appetite for trails at the Owens property. My plan was to explore the Cora, that's the Cincinnati Off-Road Alliance on grant opportunities for the mountain bike trails. But obviously, I think you know what level that you'd like me to investigate. As we talked about, the $50 million that we will trails. So just wanted to gauge any interest from you guys. Handbook update, staff, we have the first draft. We will meet next week and again, probably the beginning of January to finalize those revisions. We will cover at the caucus for any particulars. In regards to City Clerk and Rebecca's team, payroll tax launch is coordinated. That team is in line, and we are ready to roll out August 1st. Distributions.
I'm sorry, John. Will you speak up for us? The train. Will you just speak up?
I'm sorry.
That's okay because the train.
Yeah, the payroll tax launch is on pace to be ready to go on January 1st. No hiccups there. Communicated, as you know. As you guys know, in council, if you're okay with it, I will continue to reply, obviously, with respect to these questions, especially if they're just outright just uninformed. If it's just an opinion, thoughts, I'm not going to go online about the fact, but obviously, if there's something that we need to communicate, I'll do my very best to get the appropriate comments, whether or not people agree. Kristen, on Maine, I just want to thank Rebecca and the team there. Just very well attended, very well thought out. We took some takeaways, talked to the team, things like lighting, and there's in a parking lot. Just maybe if we did have a snow event, the sidewalks. If, some residents take care of, some don't. Maybe we just do it. We're gonna have a parade, right? So there was some learning, but all in all, I think the feedback was really positive. And so I just wanted to make sure the team was recognized in front of you.
I will say we forgot the street sweeper, right? So John came up and picked up trash on Saturday. And our public work crew and our city staff, I know that they cleaned up by hand too that evening, so they got the big stuff. Anyhow, just a great team effort.
Yep, it was a great team effort. They were doing a great job. Just another thing at City Hall, I'm actively engaging and working with our city's water sewer technology vendor on a couple challenges. Obviously, we had the text message go out, and then also we just had the very slow response rate from the technology. And so after investigating, we found out they had migrated part of their vendors to a new server. And we were not one of them because they were ascertaining, could we keep the old server good? Will it work? And I was like, no, it will not move us. And so next week?
The 19th.
19th will be moved to the new server because I told them we were planning to be on the new server. So that'll be done. So just things like that just to help the team be more effective and efficient in their time in office. So overall, that's helped do a great job. In regards to Public Works, we had a successful snow event last week. I think the team did a really good job. We changed a little bit of procedures, like how we actually went out later than that. And that was so that the gentlemen weren't sitting around waiting, paying much overtime, and then they plow so quickly while it's still snowing, and they're going to go back. So we just kind of did the timing a little bit different this year, and I think it was pretty successful, and I know they appreciated it. Obviously, that snow worked out great, because the snow didn't stop. The next snow event may continually need more snow, so we'll have to adjust accordingly, but just know we're working on those things. And then the learning part of hitting a couple speed bumps, we learned where they are, we put them down, and they were repaired pretty quickly. Iosca Valley, coming out of caucus and Town Hall, and the caucus and Town Hall before that, and the caucus before that, we have finally come up with a solution for Iosca Valley, no parking on the Benito side between Merlot and the south. So, I put my helmet on and ready for those missiles. And then lastly, street sign project, the additional street signs for the Main Street project have come in. They're being marked by 811 and then are going to start installing those remaining signs.
They look so good.
Great. In regards to wastewater and Ryan and team, Myself and Ryan went to the regional district water meeting, and that is where they rank our freshwater and our drinking water projects. And so just I'll give you the update. Out of the 19 drinking water projects in the 5 northern counties, our project was ranked the second most important.
Nice.
And there's a lot of rankings to it. So some points are earned by how many households they've affected. Some points are, the dollar of the project versus the scope of how many linear feet. Those are some of the factors that they rank these projects. And these are, of course, so when they put them forth for state revolving funds, when the money gets released from Frankfurt, they can say, these are the most important projects in each county or in each region. And so that's when I'm speaking about the rankings, that's that. And then our freshwater projects, we were ranked number 4 and 10 out of 31. So good rankings. I think will put us in a good opportunity for state revolving funds. But the other part that opened it up is while last year and every year there's money available from the Kentucky infrastructure, and those go to drinking water projects, specifically fresh drinking water. And as in most grants, if it doesn't get used, it comes back. And so just to let you all know, we are on the list, top of the list with our projects. If the money comes back, I would expect that we would get some. Our projects not only rank well, but they're very good. So hopefully we're able to get a little grant funding that we would expect, and people not using it. So I'll let you all know when that comes in. And then lastly, in regards to, do you guys have any questions on the 3 items on the agenda? The quarterly town hall, the SB1 interlocal agreement, and the items to be clerk's surplus.
The items to be declared surplus. So I see the list, and I appreciate that, the great detail there. And I share with you my concern, because I'm not sure in the past that we've done what we needed to do. We checked the box, but I'm not sure that our citizens were aware of the process. And so we're just going to do better, and we're committed to that. And again, thank you for the list. John knows me. I am a penny pincher and a yard sailor. So as I look, I pointed to Rebecca and I said, hey, what's this 3 buckets of industrial cleaner? Like, how is that surplus? How can we not use that?
Hey, what's this party tent? 20 by 20.
Women and men think differently. I've realized this, right? Because the women were all nesting and trying to.
But the ones clean and
those many hundreds and hundreds of dollars of cleaner were items that during COVID, when cleaner couldn't be found, that those were either donated or given or purchased unknown. Currently, due to the fact that they're not in use anywhere in the city, they are leaking and causing issues to leaking on our new water meters. And so they have been sitting there for 5 years without use. And so in those type of situations, we would consider that surplus. So that's why it's on the list.
It's hard for us to let some stuff go.
I understand, and I appreciate you cost savings and items. In this list, we are trying to have a really clean, organized public works and water and sewer departments. And that starts with what do we have, when was it bought, does it work, what's the serial number, what's our plan for replacement repair, and so we got to know what we have. And that's where this started with the list. This is the list of items that we have not touched in that project. If there is item that we disagree with, that's why it's important.
I disagree with the party tent. I mean, even for the old-fashioned day, I mean...
I don't know the quality of it, right? But I'll find out for you.
Okay.
And look, it's a happy
All
medium.
this other stuff, I don't know.
To hit, there's a happy place in the middle, right? So that for years, our public works area down there has been a catch-all. So I understand the struggle. But I just want to make sure as we purge that we're doing it in a way that we're not getting rid of things that we absolutely could use. And I know you understand that, John.
Absolutely.
So as we're eager to make space, I just want to make sure that we're not overly eager, that we're getting rid of things that we can use.
No, I totally understand, and I will personally validate everything. I've gone through with the department heads, and they've redefined their list to this, but I'll put eyes on every single item, and make that as an agreement. Some of these items are just, they're as old as their kids. They should have been done a long time ago. So we're going to do the right, and whatever money comes from that, we can look into the department to see on that wish list or want list, right? What does this check off that box? right? And then does that clean up some space that now we can keep our existing things cleaner, nicer, neater, right? So that's the plan with this.
At least make us aware.
Yeah.
It makes us aware of what's going on.
But what's there, right? Like a 2004 Ford Ranger.
Yeah.
That's sitting under a tree. Right?
One question though about the orange clean that you said is leaking. Why would we not dispose of that rather than surplus?
Because it has value. You see there's 9 buckets, there was 10. So there's 9 buckets left, non-leaking buckets that, how we like us to do. I don't know where to clean them.
Do they expire?
Probably. I think they put an expiration date on things in America. So there might be one.
In America?
I tell my kids all the time.
Our cleaning
they
products
can't
that
afford
work
so good, they have to put that date on.
Yeah, right.
So to answer that question, I'm not sure, but I'm sure I can find an answer.
Okay. Council, citizens, anything? Go ahead, give it to him.
Yes. Could you tell your workers, you know where we live, that they got that culvert and leaves and things come down there?
Yes, sir, yes.
Maybe leaves out of this, could they please not put them on in our yard?
Yeah, so
Down on High Street.
Church Street, yeah. So who, I'm sorry, how is it getting in the culvert? Is it our public works guys? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they're responsible for that culvert that goes down past our house.
Okay,
And in the spring, in the fall and the winter, it gets packed with leaves.
Uh-huh.
But when they take the leaves out, they put them on the side of our yard.
Oh.
They don't take them away. We got a big pile now that's on the side of our yard, almost in our yard. And
understood. Yes, we can absolutely correct that. I know that John will work with the men on that.
Yes, that's one of the items that actually that back trail that we talked about could do with stuff like this.
Absolutely.
There's obviously a lot of options that as we decrease the number of fleet and add the actual tools they need to do their job, that's one of those items that would really make their job easier. So we'll consider that next year. But
Yes.
anything else I can do for you? Do I call it a bingo though? That's all I have.
Thank you. John, again, he was put in a position early September. He accepted, and I think it's clear to everyone at the table up here and for the folks that come regularly what great strides we've made in a short amount of time. So just kudos to John. Thank you. He's done a great job, and with the team as well. So it's exciting times, honestly, to see what mountains we're able to move in the next year. And John's a big part of that, so thank you, John. Okay, so on to our city business. We have Resolution 2025-11, a resolution of the City of Walton, Kentucky, approving an interlocal cooperation agreement for providing on-call, after-hours maintenance and service to the city's sewer collection and treatment system by the Sanitation District Number 1, and authorizing and directing the mayor to execute the attached agreement. Mr. Duncan.
Thank you, Mayor. The title sort of says it all, except I would say that John has worked with his counterpart at the Sanitation District and has worked out an agreement where the city can save money and increase its efficiency when we have the need for after-hours assistance for maintenance and service on the city's sewer collection treatment system. And I think you all have a copy of the agreement. I went through it, we made some revisions, and we're ready to go with this. So you can approve this by motion.
If we can, I'm sorry, thank you. I just want to add context for the people that are here. John, can you just speak briefly about how it came about and what it potentially is saving us?
Yeah, so currently, as everyone knows, we have a 2-person sewer team. And so you can imagine if things happen, nights, weekends, etc., those services are pretty important and urgent. And so currently, we rely on a network of private companies, but they're under no contractual obligation to come out in an emergency. We call them. So that really puts us in a bind and at the behest of somebody else. So talk to SD1. They have an on-call technicians. They have on-call equipment, and this interlocal makes them our primary vendor in count of nights and weekends or emergencies. What that also does is it significantly lowers the price. because, obviously, they're not trying to make a buck off us. We're just paying for their people, for their time, and then their equipment, which, when you add all that together, is significantly cheaper than emergency service from plumbers and other technicians. In some cases, we might pay $300 an hour. In this agreement, we might be paying something like $70 an hour and rent the equipment for $40 an hour, right? And so significant savings in case of emergencies, and it allows the sewer team to put their head down at night and know that in case of emergency, they have a team that's very close, that knows the equipment and can support them pretty quickly.
And are contractually obligated
Then
to
are
come out.
contractually, correct, yes.
Which
So-
is super important.
Thank you for
You're
that.
welcome.
And so Matt motioned.
I'll second.
Dan Martin,
Yes.
Amy Long,
Yes.
Sherry Gaskell,
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Yes.
Very good. Moving on, Resolution 2025-12, a resolution, the City of Walton, Kentucky, approving a schedule of dates, times, and locations for quarterly town hall meetings for members of the public to voice their opinions and concerns on matters of public interest in the city. Mr. Duncan.
Thank you, Mayor. As you know, we do periodically have town hall meetings, and because we have not listed them ahead of time, they become special meetings in case we do have a quorum of council there. So what we're doing is we're predetermining what the dates are going to be, so they won't have to be special meetings. And it is set up for the 2026 calendar to start at 7 p.m. here at the Walton Senior Center on February the 19th, May the 21st, August the 20th, and November the 19th. You obviously can change that if you want to during the year, but this schedule, if followed, will be regular meetings of the town hall to give the citizens their opportunity to voice concerns outside of a formal council meeting. So if you'd like to adopt that schedule, you can do that by motion.
Motion to approve.
Mayor, can I have with me?
I'm sorry?
Can I have with me?
Yeah.
Yep. So this came, obviously the mayor's been very passionate about quarterly town halls and listening to our residents, so that then now we have things to take action on. And on the last town hall, Councilman Martin, just, hey, what can we do differently so that it doesn't have to be as stringent on an agenda, right? So people can feel like they can come and talk about anything. And so this was our solution to that. If we make them a regular meeting instead of a special, it can have a more wide agenda. People can talk about what they like. So, anything wrong with that?
No, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's the reason why we're doing this and this far ahead of time, so that it makes the quarterly meetings a little more fluid.
Amy motioned.
Second.
Dan Martin,
Yes.
Amy Long,
Yes.
Sherry Gaskell,
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Yes.
And then we have Municipal Order 2025-9, a municipal order of the City of Walton, Kentucky, declaring certain items of personal property, equipment, materials, and supplies as surplus property, and ordering that those items be sold by public or online auction or bidding, transfer to another public agency, or disposal of items with no value. Mr. Duncan.
Yes, Mayor, this is the municipal order that we discussed a little bit earlier, and it has the exhibit to it with the items. The reason we're doing this is because under Kentucky law, public monies and efforts have been spent to accumulate these items, and Kentucky law requires that we declare them surplus before we dispose of them. And the intent here is to get as much money as we can by disposing of them by auction or bidding. And if there are things that have no value, this will also declare them surplus, and we can just get rid of them, put them in the dump or in the garbage.
John, have we determined where we're going to post these items?
Yeah, so the next option, once we do this, is so KLC has a free platform for it. So there's other options, I'm sure you've seen Gov Deals and some other bidding platforms. KLC has a free one, so we'll start there. Obviously, the goal is to get as much money back from these so we can put them into other projects. While actually we were investigating the process, we found that KLC also offers, they hold all of the surplus items from the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. And those items sit on a lot in Frankfurt. And so if any city, prior to them going to auction, wants to come bid on them, they have access before they ever go to section. So I did talk to the department heads before we look at, these items that we talked about for new stuff. That's also, we'll go down there. So we'll try to stretch any of these dollars we get from auction and sale, and we'll try to stretch them all the way through, but maybe even get used stuff. But if it adds to the fleet and to the team if they need, we'll do that. That's where we're starting. If there's items that we determine we can get better dollars back from a situation like gov deals, or we have to give a small percentage, but it's a wider range, then we'll assess that as it goes back. So that's the plan.
I want to go above and beyond and make sure that everyone's aware, right? Because I think we failed to do that in the past. We've done what was required of us legally, but maybe our folks didn't realize, about the surplus. So we're going to make sure we do that.
John, would any funds from that go directly into the general fund?
They would.
Okay.
Was there a motion? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Sorry.
Sherry motions. I will second.
Dan Martin,
Yes.
Amy Long,
Yes.
Sherry Gaskell,
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Yes.
Okay, so we are down to council comments. We'll start with Councilwoman Long.
Over here all by myself. I want to thank all y'all for showing up. I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Please go out and see the beautifully decorated Gaines Tavern. Bring out stuff for the food bank, and hopefully I'll see you at the next meeting.
Councilman Brown? Councilman Martin?
I don't have anything tonight.
I'm good, thank you.
Councilwoman Gaskell, you were, yeah, okay. Mr.
Wainwright.
Wainwright?
We're gonna let him talk again.
Nope, I gave it to the mayor to let her talk.
He said, are we going to let him talk again?
I passed it along. Did you not see that?
I saw it.
Okay.
Okay, so one thing to share, and thank you for passing this down. So John's done a good job, again, working with our community partners. So our Walton Senior Center and Be Concerned Food Pantry begins Monday, January the 26th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. The great thing about this, there's no income requirements. So if you're in need, then your needs can be met here. Here's a flyer. I'm sure this is going to be posted.
Yeah, it will. There's some in this, we'll post it online, but there's some in the lobby as well.
Yeah, so if anyone's interested, you can grab one on the way out. But again, just another awesome partnership to make sure that our folks here in the city are cared for. Now, let me ask this question. Is this specific to an age?
So this one is 60 plus.
Okay, very good.
And so this is for our seniors.
Okay.
We are working, obviously the only hitch was that the Walton Food Pantry had to vacate the OFC building for that construction. And so when they're finally back, and I know they're going to the Seven Hills, I believe, location, or not Seven Hills, I'm sorry.
JC's place.
JC's place. JC's place can be the temporary location, but once they get their feet underneath them, I did meet with their board, and we'll see if they can have a permanent partnership with Be Concerned for all ages. But this particular one would be a supplement to our seniors out of our senior center. So currently we offer commodities for 16 seniors, and that's money that comes through the ad district. This would be a second supplement that each month, but this would be not just for those 16 that are income requirement, this would be non-income requirement. So allows them to have a second time a month to get food, and then anyone else one time.
Good stuff. Thank you for that. Good things are happening here at the Senior Center. And out of the corner of my eye, I noticed over here, if you all can see it, we have a gentleman in our community. He and his daughter wanted to do the little libraries for our neighborhoods. And this is one of the libraries that he and his daughter built, which is a beautiful little house there. So these will be in time. I think he was planning on 5, but they will be put out in the communities. And John actually reached out to the library and partnered with the library, and they're helping us fill the little homes, the little houses here with books. So just again, another great community partnership with our library and
the school, and then the art department at the school is, so that's one that's staying that way. It's stained. Rebecca requested it that way. But the other ones that have been complete are at the school and the art department. The kids are working on painting those so they can have their work displayed in the community. So they're excited about that. And then the wall, don't forget the wall behind the softball fields, they're going to be making that their Walton Verona wall. It's 161 feet of concrete wall that they can make in our project.
Yeah, that our students are going to do a mural, so that'll be at the main park. The only other thing I have to add is, again, thank you for being here. Merry Christmas. Here's to a happy, healthy holiday season and a happy new year. That does it, yeah. We can end it by motion.
I think.
All in favor? Aye. Everyone have a good evening.